Peace and love, and welcome to Black Diamond Worldwide Outreach. Today we are celebrating Father's Day, which I thought was just an American holiday, but it's actually all over the world. I'm seeing on my Facebook thread, so I'm very, very excited. We'll talk about Father's Day in just a moment, but there's so much to celebrate, especially here in America. We are celebrating Juneteenth, which is the day that the last of the slaves in America found out that they were no longer slaves. But also to the graduates out there, people that are graduating into a new era in their lives, we congratulate you. To all of the bikers out there, yes, I am shouting you out today. I trust that you ride in safety as the weather gets warm, because it is our summer solstice here in the northern hemisphere. Today is the longest day of the year, so my mind just wants to just encourage the bikers out there to be safe, to have fun, of course, but to always be safe out there. And of course, to all the fathers out there, happy Father's Day to you. Now, last month when it was Mother's Day, we talked about the different types of mothers that we have. And today we can also talk about the different types of fathers that we have. I am always reminded that just how there is a difference between mother and a mom, there is also a difference between a father and a dad. The dictionary defines the word father as one related to another in a way suggesting paternity, right? And a lot of the derivatives or the prefixes, I guess, or the words that use the prefix of father, we know that they have like the fatherhood, the father of science, the father of mathematics. So, there are different words that use the term fathers, but fathers do get a bad rap. Right? The most popular song besides Luther, who decided to come up with Dance with My Father, before that it was Papa Was a Rolling Stone. Right? So there's so many people who do not have a great relationship with their father because so many men were brought up to be distant, to not be a part of the family in that special way. And so it tells on their children. Every year you go to the card section of the store and you see people just like trying to rack their brain as to what type of card they're going to get for their father because of whatever relationship they had. For a lot of people, it's that Rolling Stone mentality. But we just remember that it taught us what not to be, right? It taught us what type of fathers we don't want to be. But we have to remember also that there are great fathers out there, fathers who are doing their job, not just, as they say, the sperm donors, but actual dads that are there protecting their children. I also want to acknowledge fathers who have passed, who are not in the physical realm anymore, but are looking down on us in a great way. Angel dads, those who have lost children for whatever reason, but also the adopted dads, our stepdads, our bonus dads. I'm always reminded that, fathers really have to allow themselves to get into fatherhood. I remember a friend of mine years ago, he was dating a very nice young lady, and she already had a son. He was about 7 at the time, and he now had to step in and be this guy's father, be this boy's father. And it was causing some friction in their relationship, and they came to me and they said, what are we doing wrong? And I reminded them that so many fathers get to learn their children from birth. But when we have stepfathers, when we have adopted fathers, when we have bonus dads, we have to realize that there has to be a learning period. A lot of men have to allow themselves to settle into fatherhood. They have to allow the experience to happen. They not only have to relearn, in most cases, but they have to learn this child. So as long as we give them patience and understanding, I know for sure that we can produce and support good fathers all over this world. There are also single fathers. I think about my grandfather and the stories that my mother and aunt always tells about my grandfather. Here he was in the 1960s. Now, we know that was a time where men just go to work and they come back home, they bring home the bacon, as they say, the woman cooks it up. That was their time, But here he was in the 1960s, lost his wife. He had two young girls, and now he had to be not only father, but mother. I could imagine the confusion. I could imagine what he went through, not only mourning the loss of his wife, but now having to step in to a new job description, you know? But there are a new generation of fathers. There are a new generation of fathers that take their cue from people like my grandfather, that realize that there must be co-parenting going on. You know, a father is not just there for 8 seconds and then it's the mother's job to raise the child, to have the child gestate in her body and, give birth, and then the father never talks to the child again. You only see the father during the big moments, you know? But I'm so proud of this new generation that's coming up, my generation, where we realize that we must be involved. Now, I'm only a godfather, but I'm so happy that I can be there to support fathers all over the world as they are not hypnotized by gender roles, as they're not hypnotized by a woman must do this, a man must do this. No, we all have a responsibility to our world. We all have a responsibility to the children we produce and are given care of, because not only can you produce children, but you can also adopt children. You know, it doesn't make you any less of a parent. But as long as we can support our fathers, as long as we can support our dads so that they can make the right decision for not only them, but for their children, what a great and wonderful world we can build. Now, let's talk about this dad bod situation, all right? Because Will Smith posted a video, a post, whatever it was on Instagram with his dad bod, you know? You see how they like to disrespect us men? Right? Because of the bare bellies, because of, they like to call it the dad bod, so bless your dad bod to all of my fellow brothers out there. Don't worry about this is a little, you start to get a little extra fat on the sides. You squeeze it and you bless it. Don't mind if your kids, sometimes kids can be so mean. They come up and they, push in your stomach like you're the Pillsbury Doughboy. And sometimes you go, ooh, not even realizing that, you're playing into that hand. So we're going to stop all that talk right here and right now. The dad bod, the mom bod, whatever it is wonderful. It is beautiful. So today, to all the fathers out there, I just want to remind you and let you know that I honor you for being a good father. I salute you for taking the responsibility seriously, and happy Father's Day. Now, just as we spoke on Mother's Day about the way that we mother our lives, way that we mother our consciousness, today I want to get into a little about how we father or how we parent our world, how we parent our consciousness. There's so many people that say, if you don't have a good relationship with your father, you can't have a good relationship with everything else. Well, whatever relationship you have with your dad, allow yourself to be a good father to your existence. So many people, they don't know what the word father or even mother is really supposed to be because they haven't had that example. They haven't had that person in their life to give them an example of what a good mother should be, what a good father should be. So I want to remind you today that whatever your relationship is with your father or your mother, allow yourself to be that good parent of your existence. Allow yourself to see new channels, new ways that you can bring good and sustain good into your world. So, time for an affirmation. Put your fist in the air and say, I allow myself to be good. I allow myself to have good. What a great and wonderful affirmation that we can say this morning as we acknowledge Father's Day, but as we acknowledge how we control our world. Friends, we're still in the month of imagination, so I want you to consider not letting your imagination get confused with statistics. Don't let your imagination get confused with statistics. We know the statistics of single fathers, of the deadbeat fathers, as they say. We know the statistics of people that try to parent their own lives, try to take control of their own lives, but fail, whether it be to a drug addiction or other things like that. We know the statistics. But the question to us is, are we going to allow those statistics in the world to dictate our lives today? Maybe we are the exception to the rule. Maybe those statistics do not apply to us. Everyone has a life to live, including absentee fathers, right? So if we're looking for an example and we say, well, I don't have one, my father wasn't there. Well, everyone has a life to live, including that person that wasn't there for you. We have to learn to accept people for who they are. Even if they cause us harm, accept them for who they are. But here's the thing. We have to examine now our values, our beliefs, our desires. If your father wasn't there for you, what type of father are you going to be? What type of uncle are you going to be? What type of male role model are you going to be for the next person? Will you perpetuate the same consciousness? Will you perpetuate the same actions that your father did or didn't do? Or will you make them better? Will you make them worse? It is all up to you. You can blame as many people as you want to for what you didn't accomplish or what you didn't have or what you didn't get that you needed deep down, the love that you didn't get from whoever you didn't get it from. But now is the time that we can take a self-examination of our thoughts, of our feelings, of our emotions, our values, our beliefs, our desires. Today, I want you to remember that your life has value. Another affirmation. Put your fist in the air and say, my life has great value. My world has great value. Now, it is, I can't even say commonplace, but it happens in our world where as a father you are left to co-parent with someone else, right? And sometimes first of all, it's two different people, right? Two different people are not going to agree on everything. That's the first thing that I think we need to realize as we physically co-parent with another person as fathers, right? But like I said, we're metaphysically translating this idea of fatherhood, this idea of parenthood, into how we control our lives physically, mentally, spiritually, physiologically, whatever the case may be, right? I want us to remember that just as two parents may not have the same goal for their offspring or their child, or the same reasoning for making decisions, it does not mean that they can't come to an agreement. Now, here's the thing. Sometimes we have two different energies going on in our world, right? We have this imagination which sees what we want our world to be. And then we have the seen world, the world that we're living every day, the world that we feel has its limitations, has its doubts, has its fears, has its hang-ups, has its disappointments, and all the negative thoughts and all the negation that we can bring into life that contradicts what's going on in our imagination. So I feel that as we talk about mothers being that nurturing spirit, I feel that the nurturing spirit is that imagination, right? It's nurturing something inside that may not necessarily be ready to come out into the world. And then the seen world is that other side of parenthood, that father that's very, real and stern. When we were growing up, I don't know if with our new generation of parents, but if our mothers told us something we didn't listen, what she would say, I'm going to tell your father, or wait till your father comes home, So there is that perception, at least back in the day, of that sternness that comes with fatherhood, and sometimes that sternness is reality. It's as people say, a harsh reality. But we still have to co-parent these two ideas. We still have to do our best for our offspring, and that is our life. Our life is the offspring that we are parenting day by day. So as we understand this, I want you to remember that don't be at war with who you are and who you want to be. Those things will always war with each other. But the thing is, are you sustaining the war? Are you sustaining the war, or are you bridging the gap? Are you creating a world of peace, a world of joy for yourself? Forget about everybody else for just a second. Just for yourself. Are you creating a world that you can be proud of? Are you creating a wonderful bridge between your imagination and the reality that you're living today, knowing that one day your dreams become reality, your imagination becomes reality, whatever you desire to experience becomes reality? I know today that you are making the correct decisions for your life. You're making the best decisions for your life because you have it within you. You have it within you. Just as a parent has a child and people say, oh, I don't know if I can do this. Yes, you can. Just as we are living this life with all the issues that we have brought into the now, brought into the existence, you might sit back and say, can I really do this? Can I really handle this? And the answer is always a definite yes. Yes, I can handle this. Yes, I can make the right decisions for my life. Yes, I make the right decisions for my life. Would you affirm with me? Fist in the air, top of your lungs. I will make the right decisions for my life. One more time. I will make the right decisions for my life. I will make the best decisions for my life. Today, I want you to understand how powerful your word is. How powerful your imagination is, that it's formulating words, it's creating words that you will use in your existence all the way. Today, I want you to remember to make your prayer known. Make your word known. Now, I want to talk a little bit about what prayer is. We must remember that prayer uses imagination to bring demonstration. Prayer uses imagination to bring manifestation. Now, people always talk about prayer. You know, someone's in the hospital sick. Someone is not doing well. They want a new job. Whatever words that we want to formulate to pray. I've heard some prayers out there in my years where it seems like the person that's giving the prayer is more telling the people off than channeling the God force. Then knowing that their words that they're speaking are latching onto the atoms of the world and creating what we believe. That is what prayer is all about. We are creating and formulating a word that we believe will be so strong that it will manipulate the very atoms of this universe. That person that we are praying for, that is sick in the hospital, that can't move, that can't think, that can't do whatever, that job that we are praying for, we are formulating affirmations, words out of our mouth that are going to connect to the universe to bring about our desired goals and effect, to bring about that demonstration, to bring about that manifestation. So it means then, since our prayers are only affirmations that we're sending out, is that every word that we're saying is a prayer. Every word that we're saying is an affirmation. Every word that we're sending out into the universe is collecting energies and bringing it back into our life. Pressed down, shaken together, running over, is coming back to you tenfold, 100-fold, 1,000, 1,000,000-fold. It is coming back to you. So you got to watch your words. You have to watch your words. You have to watch the energies that are coming out of your mouth, not just in prayer, but every word that you speak. Make it complete. Make it functional. Make your words functional and functioning. Because once you send out that word, it creates the world, the life that you're living. It creates what you are in this moment. Not only does it have to be functional, it has to be functioning. A functioning word, words that you know will produce what you desire in your world. Prayer in panic voids the prayer. So many people, when they get into this energy of prayer, oh, something, okay, let's pray about it. But they're still wringing their hands. They're still pulling their hair, still biting their nails. Now, listen. Now you end up, I always remember one of my spiritual fathers, the Reverend Joe Hill, he would say, people pulling out their hair, biting their nails. Now you got no nails and you bald-headed and the problem is still there. People go into their lives, or into their prayers, I should say, into their meditation, into their affirmation with panic on the brain. Their world is in complete disarray. They go in with the ego. I got to pray so I can be the best. I need all the help I can get, so let's pray. They go in for a competition. Remember, first of all, like, competition sometimes teaches us how to always be competitive. Some people don't know how to turn it off, especially like professional athletes. They don't know how to quite turn off their competitive side. But no one has the power to win your life but you. No one has the power to win your life but you. So as you're praying, as you're sending your word out into the universe, know that it is always complete, but have you completed it? Have you spoken your entire word for the good that you want to experience in your life? Have you spoken your entire word for the manifestation that you want to see in your life? Today is the day to do it. Every day is a day to do it. You have to choose. You have to choose what word will you speak today. Before you go into prayer, calm down. Take a deep breath. Think it over, think it through, sleep on it if you have to. But make sure that when you're going into prayer, make sure that when you're going into these moments where you're saying, God, this is what I want, universe, this all universal force, this is what I want my energy to be, this is what I want the people in my world to be, my job to be, my health to be, whatever your prayer is, stop doing it in fear. Stop doing it in a panic. Take the ego out of it. And know that the all-universal force has complete control and you will not fail. You will not falter. You will pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and you will move on. You will speak your word for prayer. Affirm with me, fist in the air, say with me, I speak my word in completion. I speak my word for manifestation. I remember, one of my favorite shows is The Jeffersons. The last episode I watched was the granddaughter's christening, and the granddaughter's name is Jessica, and Jessica's mom wanted the maid to sing because they were so beautiful. They sang so wonderful. So she said, oh, can you come sing at the baptism? And George was like, no. And my word is final. I'm the man. My word is final. Now, well, I mean, that show was in the 70s and the women on that show weren't having it, We talk about these generational things that, people are kind of getting rid of, these gender roles that we're kind of dismissing day by day. And, the women were just like, you have the last word because you're a man? Yeah, okay. So you'll be there at the baptism, right? But when I think about it, this is the type of force that we have to have. Not in the gender roles, not to other people, but to those fears that we have, to the doubts, to the panic, all right? To all the negation, we got to put our foot down. We got to be the ruler, the leader of our world. That we know that when we speak our word, when we speak our prayer, when we demand manifestation and completion through our word, we know that that's the final word. That's all that the energy around can bring. And as you understand the power in you, as you understand the power to complete whatever needs to be completed in your world, you can move on to a great and wonderful victory. The last point I want to leave with you today is to watch what you claim after you say the words I am and my, right? I am, a lot of religions believe that I am is this Christ consciousness, and that every word that you say after I am becomes solidified. It goes to manifestation. But I also want to talk about the word my. What are we saying after the word my? Remember to use your self-talk to create and sustain positive energy into your world. So when you say, I am sick, I am poor, I am a bad father, I am this, I am that, those words create energies in your world. But after you use the word my sickness, my diabetes, my headache, we're claiming these things in our world. So I want us to become conscious of the words that we're speaking out of our mouth. If we're going to use the example of fatherhood and motherhood and just parenthood all the way and incorporate that into how we rule and judge and make decisions into our world, we got to start at our words. Well, first of all, everything starts in thought. Everything starts in imagination. This is why that's my favorite topic, because everything starts in imagination. But the aftermath is the words that we're speaking out of our mouth. The beliefs we hold, the things we do, the people we surround ourselves with. All of that is building the I am. All of that is building the affirmation. Because the people around us, they kind of, and they shouldn't, but a lot of times they determine the course that we go. Because we tell a friend, and that's why I'm so grateful I have encouraging friends, that whatever, I can have the most far out idea. And they'll look at me cross-eyed like, what are you talking about? And then they'll be like, okay, let's break this down. Let's explain. Then when I explain, they're like, okay, I get it now, you know? But a lot of people have friends that as soon as they give them a desire, as soon as they say, I want to do this, you want to do this? You don't have the education. You don't have the people. You don't have the looks for it. You don't have the voice for it. Today, forget about the naysayers. Forget about the my sickness, my doubt, my fear, my hang-ups, my lack of education. Forget about the I am dumb, I am poor, I am anything that is not for your highest good. You cancel those words out of your mind, out of your prayers, out of your affirmations. Start surrounding your mind with good. Start speaking words of good, and know that the energy that you're creating is one of good. For the last time today, put your fist in the air. Affirm with me. I am all the good in the world. Come on, even with that flair in it. I am all the good in the world. I am the best version of me, now and always. I am the best version of me, now and always. And I love me. I love me. From the hair follicles on the top of my head all the way down through the cells of this wonderful body. I love me. Friends, continue to love yourself. Continue to love who you are. Continue to speak your word for who you want to be. And know that those moments from your imagination to the scene reality that you want to create are wonderful, joyous, and great. I love you. Happy Father's Day. Be blessed.